You're listening to the Weird Girls Club podcast with your hosts, Niamh and Amy. Hi, hello.
We're back for another episode. 2 weeks in a row.
I know. Who are we?
Shocker.
Yeah. Well, 2
That
weeks
was real.
in a row.
You sound like a real high man. You.
But yeah, we're back for another week's episode, and are you proud of us? Like, please comment, like,
I'm
subscribe
proud
if
of
you are
us.
proud of us.
I'm proud of.
I'm proud of us. Technically, it's the same day, but we're as you can see by our
If you haven't watched last week's episode, you should watch it after this and spot the difference.
yeah, spot the difference. It might be darker out in the window. It is.
Mine might be changed.
Yeah.
That's about it.
But sorry, that's Trent basically huffing at us in his bed, going to sleep.
Another one.
Another
Mhm.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
We actually had loads of stuff to talk about that we didn't get to talk.
I know. The last episode, it was just a complete ramble. It was like a trip down memory lane that we shouldn't record, but it was a podcast because we were just chatting shit.
It was like someone just was like, I'm going to unlock the junk box in your brain and just spout out all this shit that doesn't even mean nothing to anyone.
Yeah,
Oh.
that was literally it. That, like, anything, everything makes no sense.
I don't know why I'm being a pervert.
Watch it, pervert.
I literally just...
What's that of? Watch it, pervert. I actually don't know if that's even out something.
Is it from your man down that does be on the corner? I'm joking.
What did he call you today?
Kayla.
Kayla.
I think he called Aaron Mike. There's a homeless guy.
Big
And the other morning he was just calling everyone like random names, walking past like, good morning Kayla, hi Mike. Like, it was so funny. I was like, good morning. But yeah, let's debrief pretty quick. I don't know, I am in the weirdest mood. Like, I'm like, I feel like I'm a glitch. Glitch. You called me the other day with my haircut. You said, do you know who you look like? You kind of said to me the other day, do you know who you said, you remind me of Vanellope out of Wreck-It Ralph.
I said this. Yeah.
You said this to me, right? And I was like, I love her. Cute. Aaron said it to me about 2 days ago. And I was like, I seem to be having the same conversations with two separate people. You said it to me. We were recording. You said it right to me.
In the last episode?
It wasn't an episode. You just said it while we were like setting up. Like,
I have no memory of this.
Yeah, I had only
the
gotten me haircut. I had only gotten me haircut.
Oh.
And you were like, oh no, I love it, because we were talking about the length of it. And you were like, yeah, it reminds me of you remind me of like Vanellope of Wreck-It Ralph.
Oh,
and then Aaron literally said it to me 2 days ago, and I was
that's
like,
so weird.
I was like, there's a glitch in the Matrix. Like, you two are like,
she is the glitch.
I'm the glitch.
Conspiracy theory.
Dun 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 dun.
But I remember because in the not the last episode when you were watching this, the episode before that, you said you would wear a mask of her face when we done the hypothetical questions.
Yeah, and I think I said, because you've already, in my head I was like, oh, you already said I look like her, so she's just an easy option. That's why it popped. That was fresh in my head.
Oh, okay.
Plus she's super cute.
I
love when she's
remember
like,
all the TikTok girls were going through that phase where like they do like the blusher and they were literally, I felt like they were trying to look like her.
yeah, I remember that phase, but I actually think no one ever did look like her.
Yeah.
Well, they were trying to look like her.
Yeah. Seems like they were anyways.
Yeah, but like, it doesn't look real though.
No.
Who has like
they just look like kids. And it's a bit weird in my
Whatever
opinion.
Whatever you're into. I wish I could always pull off the fake freckle phase.
Yeah, I can't. Even if I try, like, because I have like a mark on my face here. I'm like, it's like
why are you using like your evil genius baby finger to point out?
It's like here or something. But even if I try to go over that it just doesn't like, it doesn't look like dirt because it's half covered in makeup. Even that does look a bit wrong. I'm like, the spot's already there. But like, yeah.
You go, girl. You get it.
You go, girl.
You colour that.
better work.
You better work.
You better work.
But we wanted to quickly mention before we get into the antics of when I went home.
Oh yeah, because Niamh's going to do a recap of our trip back to Ireland for the
like
first
it took
time,
me
like,
about
3 years.
It literally took me about 3 hours to fully explain to Amy all the stories.
Yeah.
But
Get some snacks.
I will cut them down for you. Yeah, get some snacks, get a cup of tea, get a cup of coffee,
Glass of wine.
glass of wine.
Bottle of vodka.
Or bottle of vodka.
Wherever you're trying to say.
Wherever you're into. But yeah, get a few snacks and settle in. We wanted to quickly mention the Johnny Depp case just wrapped up. Last week. And obviously I already had a good feeling he was gonna win, just because like it was just evidence wise that was being presented. I followed along. Amy, you were following along as well. Shout out to Emily D. Baker.
Oh yeah, we love Emily D. Baker. She
we
is
love her.
The queen.
If you're not on LawTube, get on LawTube. Like, guys,
join the law nerds.
I object. Overruled.
Objection, hearsay. Cause for speculation. But yeah, I know I haven't. I don't know if you have actually talked about it at all online or like
no.
I
haven't even shared anything.
Yeah, no, I think I retweeted.
I think I liked
one thing the other day, but it was kind of got to do with that. But that was about it, because I kind of felt a bit weird, to be honest, talking about it, because it is such a very serious topic. Like, at the end of the day, it is like regarding DV, and there was SA allegations, and there was a whole load of stuff in it. Like, yes, the case was about defamation and that, but the underlying issues was domestic violence and a whole lot of stuff. So it was a bit like, I did feel a bit weird how the internet was treating it, to be quite honest, and how there was, I get we live in a world where if something funny happens, no matter the circumstance, it's gonna be turned into a meme, or there's gonna be something said about it. But there was so many, like, I personally felt uncomfortable seeing people doing TikToks where they were, I don't even know what you call it when it's not lip singing, but you're talking over the voice of someone. Do you know them TikToks when it's like a sound goes viral and people are like talking over it, whether it's a bit of a song or it's a part from a movie or an old TV show, whatever it is. I don't think that was right at all, though, with how the internet treated some things. Yeah,
they were kind of like, at the end of the day, what I was afraid that what will happen going forward is, now anyone or any woman particularly that is with a more high profile celebrity or man, I just don't want it to be assumed that, oh, she's just after his money. She's only doing them allegations because it's after his money. Or she's a liar because it has a bigger profile, he's more likable. I don't want it to come across like you can't paint everyone with the same brush.
Yeah, 100%.
In her case, the evidence wasn't there. They said her lawyer was on a talk show.
Oh my god,
she was like, it's the media influence, like, we had plenty more evidence we couldn't put in and blah blah blah. It's hearsay.
Yeah, that's it. Why it's not presented. In. Stop trying to brainwash the whole world into thinking the judge was this secret Johnny Depp fan and was against Amber Heard and didn't want to allow evidence. The evidence wasn't brought in because it wasn't legally, like, usable. That's why it wasn't allowed. It
was also not brought in because her team of lawyers did not have their shit together and they shit the bed on the whole thing. Yeah, they were an absolute mess. Her team can point the finger. They were a mess. They were not on the point as Johnny Depp's team.
There was a vast difference between both sides of the legal team.
Oh yeah, 100%. Absolutely.
Depp's team, they worked so well together that, like, some of them were partners of the firm, some of them are young associates that were like leading, like your one Camila Vasquez, she's just an associate in that firm. She's relatively young, like in her mid-30s, and is doing like the main cross-examination of literally the defendant of the trial. They were so in sync that like even seeing them when they're doing their question, whoever they're asking, and you see them come together, chat, and then someone hands a sticky note and they just work whatever evidence they're at, they're linking together in. It made me want to go back and be a lawyer. Like, it was like, put it this way, like, I don't agree with people trolling Amber Heard, especially when she saying, like, people are saying like, oh, like, we should just put her baby in a microwave and stuff like that. Like, that's disgusting. Like, that is disgusting. Right, fair enough. We don't know what happens behind closed doors. No. All we know is that, like, to be honest, don't get me wrong, I love Johnny Depp. I wanted Johnny Depp to win. I didn't want to believe, like, I don't want to believe that he's that type of person. And no one does. No one wants to believe, like, they're like that. Like, do you know what I mean? Yeah, especially actors we grew up watching. But she lost the case. Like, she lost the case, and that's just that. Like,
I don't know why her I don't know. I just her liar coming out and going on the show and then pointing the finger at everyone else but except for her team shit in the bed. It just makes them look so much worse. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm not saying obviously they were both toxic together. There was a mix of everything.
Completely.
But do I genuinely believe from evidence that was shown that he is part of domestic violence or he is domestic or sexual abuse? I just don't believe it.
Yeah.
The evidence, the lack of evidence. Yeah. Was he aggressive on drink? Was he out of his fucking face on drugs? Most probably. Yeah. From what was it? That does not mean someone is like sexual harassment or sexual abuse. Like of like I'm not even going to say it like what they were saying in court like for the sexual abuse of both domestic violence. Like it just the evidence is just not there. It's like what the girl Camila was like, it's like they were like her and our friends like planned on one of the nights when the police was called to come back and Johnny Depp was again not there. It was made look like, oh well, there's clumps of hair now. That was like literally they straight cut like but it's lack of evidence like, and I in my head like I was just thinking like it just doesn't look good. Her liars from the beginning just made the whole thing look like here yous are just dropping the ball. Yeah.
Do you know what I think it was? I think while watching it, I did watch quite a lot of it. I didn't watch Johnny Depp's testimony because in England I had kind of read through and followed someone who was there and they were live tweeting word for word. So I didn't really get into it from the get-go with this case. But then halfway through his lawyer's question and like some of his expert witness, like your one Shannon Curry, Dr. Curry, I started then and then watched it all, and then I watched all of Amber's sides and all their witnesses they brought up. So I've seen all of Amber Heard's testimony, and I lost my train of thought of where I was going with this point, actually, to be quite honest with you. Oh yeah. So,
I can't help you.
Do I believe they were both completely toxic with each other? Yeah, we can see that from the language they use with each other. When they talked about stuff, they called each other different name, like characters' names, and the Slim, and I can't remember whatever names they use. Did he say some nasty stuff that are uncomfortable when you like see them asking them to read out text message? Yeah, and they are really uncomfortable. But words don't always translate into actions, and where I think this went wrong for Amber, because legally she had like the law was on her side kind of going into this case with like defamation. She didn't name him in the article. They were personal things about her, like it was her case to lose in my opinion and Emily D. Baker's opinion. She had said it a few times and it was like it actually makes sense when it comes down to legally. She had the better case and it was hers to lose, and the moment she got on that stand she lost it, because I feel like she felt she needed to have these very serious, extremely violent acts happen her. Like she explained so many different events where she was repeatedly hit with all of his rings on his hand, and she would build up this big serious thing that you're like, Jesus, like I'd never want to go through that. And then she would show a picture and it's like, I can't really actually see anything in this picture. Or it'd be, well, the next day after scratching me back up, then I was on a red carpet and I actually wore a backless dress, and it didn't match. Our evidence didn't match how extreme our stories were. If she had just went on and maybe like, because maybe he did mentally abuse her, like, because obviously that's very hard to prove, but because she came in with all these like very elaborate, I don't want to call them stories because maybe she believes some of these things were violent, maybe they did get physical with each other, but the depth of detail that she went into, and also lack thereof detail when she'd retell the story, she would mix things up, forget things, and I can't say that, like, I feel like, and then how she presented herself on the stand where she would look directly at the jury and could so openly relive these stories that then later she came back and said that she'd wake up in the middle of the night screaming, crying, thinking about these stories with her PTSD. And it's like, and in no moment did she show, it was all over the place for me that the evidence, this mountain of evidence that she had, didn't line up with what you expected to see after such horrific events. It didn't add up.
It was like she took photos of her injuries, we'll say, when she was sitting in front of a camera taking it. Yeah, there is no evidence of her when she has no makeup, or like there's a bruise on her face when she went to get her divorce. But the next day there's no bruise on her face.
And she tried to say she was wearing makeup in that.
When she's skipping down the road with her best friend,
Yeah.
smiling and laughing. Like, it just, the evidence, or like you said, lack of evidence is not there. So, to be honest, like, innocent until proven guilty. And I think that's Johnny Depp won. Like, it was very plainly like that she was hinting at him in the article. Like, come on.
Definitely,
like,
especially when they pointed out the dates that she wrote it 2 years after she got her restraining order and after the divorce, and she wrote it 2 years after and said 2 years ago I stood up. So it's like when you're linking the facts to everyone's presumption, it's defamatory at the end of the day. Yeah,
I think there was a lot of mental abuse between the two of them. I think they really knew how to get each other under each other's skin.
100%.
And overall, just an absolute toxic relationship. But do I believe it went to the point of him beating her?
To the extent she
no.
explained.
Obviously, there was probably shoving on both sides, like people shoving each other, like pushing each other, whatever. I do not think it came down to like sexual assault and like a one-parted domestic violence. Like,
yeah, definitely. I definitely don't think it was one-sided.
She's on tape admitting she hit him
multiple times.
Because
the
and
thing
all
is,
his excuse, all his on all the recordings is he keeps trying to leave. He's either locked in the back room or he wants to leave, and she's like, no, because she's so riled up that she wants to keep going.
Yeah,
it's like a one-way train. She needs to get all this steam out of her system, because if he leaves, she's there just to fume on her own. And if you're that riled up, you don't want to be on you want to start screaming at the person or whatever. And getting out of your system, because you have to getting so riled up. It's like, well, where does all this angry energy go if there's no one here to be angry with? So
that's
Johnny
the
Depp,
because like,
well done.
She, like, her argument was that everyone that was a witness for him was coming out of woodworks and was on his payroll. Like, there was a lot of staff on his payroll that witnessed certain things or didn't witness what her version of events. But at the end of the day, her witnesses also, like, the argument goes both sides of who's gonna lie for who. Is her witnesses were friends and a sister who lived on Johnny Depp's dime and came out and only had her word to say these things happened. All of them testified that they never saw him hit her. They all testified that they never saw, like, them, either of them physically hit each other or abuse or do any of these things. All they had was Amber's word to rely on, and during this trial nobody believed Amber's word. And that's what it was. It was like, it was. And then
very interesting, very entertaining. 6 weeks. Obviously wasn't very entertaining. But what do you think? What, before we actually move on, I just want to ask, what did you think about Johnny Depp not turning up for the final day, for the final result? To be honest, like, for me personally, as a Johnny Depp fan, I would have likened to seeing him be there at the fact that he did get his justice, and on all 3 counts, I wasn't actually expecting all the 3 like counts for him to win. It would have been nice to see him there to end it off, but I also think neither of them should have been there at the same time. I think she was there to prove a point in a way. She was there. If she didn't turn up, would have been like, oh yes, you have to go through all the 6 weeks and you're not even going to wait for your results. No. Her being the accuser of domestic violence, she wasn't there, it would have looked so bad. I don't think, because neither of them needed to be there. I think she was there as more of a statement, to be honest. I don't think she wanted to be there. No, she didn't want to be there. But for the statement of her saying, like, I'm doing this for all domestic violence, like, women, like, if she didn't turn up for the results, and you're a woman, like, say you're part of someone who had domestic, you're like, you want to be the spokesperson, but you're not even gonna go to the. It doesn't shine a great light if you're gonna go through 6 weeks, stand there, cry on the stand, and then not turn up for the results. Couldn't cry though. Well, cry. And our acting coach testified that she actually finds it hard to cry when acting. Oh, she can't act a fucking Egypt anyway. But I don't know, because she also testified multiple times that she never wanted any of this. She never wanted this trial. She never wanted any of his money. Well, she didn't want a defamation trial. Get away from her. She didn't want a defamation trial. Yeah, trial was against her. Well, she had a counterclaim. Only because she only had a counterclaim because of the claim brought against her. But, do you know what I mean? Of course, no one wants to go through trials. No one wants to go and be in court, like. No one wants to go through that heartache of it. If it's technically over and you've testified multiple times that you don't want anything got to do with this, you just want your ex-partner to leave you alone, you want to be done with it. The day it's done, you kind of just want to go home, be with your family, whatever happens. She wanted a counterclaim of 100 mil. Because
you don't want, like, whether she won or lost all of her claims, the amount of media in that room, you don't want pictures of your reactions. You don't want that.
I think she honestly believed she was winning that. I honestly think she believed. Like, you have to remember, she is in a bubble where her lawyers, their associates, her family, all building this up. No one is going to turn around to you in a court case that you have to keep going up to the stand and be like, you're losing this. There's no fucking way you're winning this.
Yeah.
There's no way. You're in a bubble that people are building you up, being like, oh, we have him on this, like, oh, this is gonna go where.
Yeah.
She is in a bubble. She was there. She had to be. If you are there and if you have an inkling you're gonna lose and you don't have to be there, why the fuck would you be there?
I think it was more of a statement that she's there and Johnny's not. I think that's the only reason she's there.
But the only thing is, she doesn't. The other party never know who's gonna be there.
She would have known he wasn't there because he was already in London when it ended. Because the thing was, they had already asked before, I think, this trial started, do they need to be there for the end dates? Because his tour was pre-scheduled, I think, before this trial. I think that's just what I've read and what I've heard.
I didn't know it was a tour. I just thought
he was gigging with
I thought it was just a surprise gig because no one knew he was going to be there. That's why all the audience were like, oh my god, Johnny Depp's here. It was just a surprise.
I could have well, I thought I read somewhere and heard somewhere that was like a pre-planned thing.
Yeah, because I think I read a thing because I was like, well, I should need to be there. Why should I be there? But it was apparently no party tells you who's going to be there, because especially when it's high profile, they won't tell the other party who's going to be there, because her team could leak, well, Johnny's actually not going to be there. There wouldn't be half of as many
I think
press.
it was already leaked, because didn't it end on the Friday and then he was already out of the country because the deliberations didn't come until like Tuesday or something.
Yeah, but
so he was already in England.
No, but on the Monday he wasn't. He performed on the Sunday.
Yeah, but they weren't in on the Monday.
No, that's what I mean. So everyone thought he's flying back the Monday to be there for deliberations.
Oh, I heard
that's like, and plus he's not flying. He's flying private jet. Like he's getting private jet out.
I heard before that he wasn't even going to be there. That they'd
no
on the Friday. I thought
because his security guard was there.
Yeah.
And the press were like, "Oh, is Johnny Depp turning up because you're his security
guard?"
Yeah,
probably him and
he must be Andy. Where he was like, "Can't say."
Yeah.
Can't say. No party knows it's gonna when it's a celebrity case. No, either party won't know. Only for safety as well.
Yeah, of course.
Do you know what I mean?
But yeah, it was interesting.
So she was just there thinking, like, I'm gonna fucking rub in these people's faces. Plus, she's have to seen all the way through. If I was her, I would be there for the results of that, to be honest.
Same, I probably would too.
I was like, do you know what? And I hate to say it because I love Johnny Depp, but I was like, it's your case. Like,
I do wish he kind of was there. But
you've brought this case up against her. Like, you're after going through 6 weeks of this. Why wouldn't you be there for the results? Like, if you're so passionate like that, you like this is something you obviously you have to put all your dirty laundry out, like, openly, like, you knew this was going to happen, like, you want this, but why wouldn't you turn up for the results? Like, it was just like,
maybe
you know what,
he wasn't sure he was gonna win.
That's what I mean. I was like, are you gonna cower out of it? That's how it looks to some people. Like, did you cower? You basically cower. Like, realistically, he kind of cowered out, but he's hiding behind, oh well, I had a gig and I just, like, you know, just couldn't get back. If you
I don't think it's that serious. Like, I didn't think much about it. I know the whole internet was kind of going a bit nuts.
No,
but I was just kind of like, I don't like. Would I have liked to see him there to celebrate you and have that hug moment that all his attorneys had? Yeah, that would have been super nice. But the jury's decision's already made. They don't give a fuck who's in that court. If nobody's in there, they don't know that he's not going to be there. They're not.
But it's just a matter of principle. Like, it's a matter of principle, and it's like, put it this way: you already have to air out all your dirty laundry. Why give them another reason not to show up on the very last day, for the most important day of court is the results. The most important day. Yeah,
but like, that's out of your control, though.
It just looks so, like, to me, it looked like you cowered out. You cowered out of the result.
But maybe he was afraid, though, that maybe they would believe her, and then he's like, what the fuck do I do now? Maybe he did, but, like, you never know.
But that's
maybe
what I mean. Like, we're like, if you are a regular person, you're not a celebrity, right? You're a regular person. You have to be in court for your result. Yeah. You don't have a choice. Oh, if I want to be there or not. You have to be there.
I suppose then it's on the judge. Should have been like, then no, you both have to be
But you know what I mean?
She decided, she was like, right, no, you don't.
Obviously, it's his choice. But what I'm saying is how it looks from someone on the outside, that he didn't turn up on the most important day of the whole court case because he cowered out. But I'm glad he won. Don't get me wrong. I was team Johnny Depp all the way. But when I seen him there, I was kind of like, mate, it looks like a coward out. Like, I'm trying, like, right, you had a gig, but don't let on that you didn't know what dates this 6-week court case was going to be. I'm sorry.
You don't know when the jury's going to come back. They could have took
But
2
here,
weeks.
listen, he done a surprise performance at a gig. So
well, I don't know.
It was very
convenient.
No, it was like everyone was like, oh my God, like we didn't know Johnny Depp was going to be there. Because the court case was on. So I think he probably didn't know he was going to do it, because I think he was supposed to be announced as a special guest Johnny Depp, but then I think they took him off, where it was just like special guest and they got someone else in, but then he actually turned up. Like, this was like, these tickets for this gig is like, these were on sale during COVID.
I don't know, I just, whatever I was watching said it was pre-planned.
But like, if you put the pieces together of how, no, probably isn't this way, but if you're an outsider looking in, like, that's fucking how it looks. But she had some, like, she was able to stand there. She took a bad result and she walked out. And I'm not team Amber Heard at all. Like, I'm fully team Johnny Depp. But at least she turned up for the fucking results. I'm sorry, but that's just my view. I thought
she was gonna win, but yet then stormed out the back door into her car.
Well, apparently she didn't storm out the back door into her car.
Oh, I saw the video.
Apparently she did. That wasn't straight away. Apparently she would.
Well, it wasn't this very second. But she did go out the back door.
Well, of course she'd be upset if you just lost the case after been sitting there for 6 weeks.
I would love to know, because her team done like polled the jury, so where they basically asked some questions about how they came to the verdict and they see their point of view. I would have loved to know what they said.
I know.
Wish I knew.
But yeah. But I'm glad Johnny Depp won, because the evidence, based on evidence, like, it just wasn't there. And I love Johnny Depp. Like, we grew up watching Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
But I wish he was there for the results, just to finish off being like, here, I've brought this
satisfying closing end kind of thing.
Yeah, like, he's after bringing a case against her. So why would you start a thing and then just not turn up for the end of it? It's like going to the cinema, enjoying the whole film the whole way through, and then just leaving before the end. And like, why would you do that?
Yeah, that's true. I can see our point of view.
Do you know what I mean? But it looks like he cowered out. Like, that's how it does look. And I'm sorry, but you're an adult and you shouldn't, to be honest, he shouldn't have been given the option. If you're the one bringing the court case, like you are bringing this court case here, why aren't you even bothered to turn up when everyone else here has turned up?
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's just, like, if that's the case and it's different rules for different people. Like, if I was convicted for murder and I just don't
Well, no, that's different. This is a civil case.
But just say, like, oh, I just don't want to turn up for the fucking result. Like, if you're going to give me life, give me life. I just won't turn up for the result. Like, do you know what I mean? It's a double-edged sword. If you're in court, you're in court. It's a court case. You can't just pick and fucking choose. Yeah, but there is different levels to it. And I mean, it was the judge's decision at the end of the day. I don't know. It's Judge A.
She was great. I loved her. She was very... When the jury left, her little comments, they just gave me least life. Like, just a little funny thing she said.
She's hilarious. She was very calm and
she was very fair. I found, like, it didn't seem like she was siding with one at all. And what do you think of, I know we're like babbling on about this a bit long, but what do you think of Amber Heard's attorney Elaine, like, now going on our press tour for our 15 minutes of fame after calling everyone out in court for one of their 15 minutes of fame? Because do you know this court case is being televised? And now she's on every major American news outlet bashing the jury, bashing everyone, bashing the judge.
Well, if that's the case, if you are going to sit there and bash a jury and you're a lawyer, then you do not believe in the American justice system. If you are going to sit there and bash a jury, there is a jury there. You agree on the jury. Both parties have to agree on the jury. You agreed on the jury and they are specifically picked. You can object to a juror. If that's the case,
you question them.
Yeah. If that's the case, then you don't believe in the American justice system and you don't believe in the American law system, and that's a very bold thing to come across if you are a fucking attorney, like, and that's not going to favor, like, this is not going to favor for judges that you work with.
And she apparently, I only learned this today, I think I was watching Emily D. Baker on, like, someone else's live show.
Love her.
Apparently that is her area, like, Virginia is her area where she actually practices, so she could come up against that judge again. She could be reprimanded by that judge at any time. She's basically bashing the judge for not letting certain things come in that weren't technical evidence and didn't apply to this case, because this is what they keep drilling into people. Said, we already won this case in the UK. No, you didn't. You were not part of that case. Amber Heard was a witness in the case in the UK. A witness. That was all. She wasn't part of that. So
it was a completely different team.
Completely different country with a completely different legal system. It was a judge decision, not a jury. It was also against the Sun newspaper, not Amber at all. Amber was the Sun's witness. And they basically had to say that they had enough evidence to believe her statements to publish the article that had the title Johnny Depp's a wife beater. That was all they had to prove, that they believed her and her statements were enough to call Johnny Depp that. It didn't have to prove anything that Amber Heard basically said was true. And then the judge sided with her mainly on the fact that she had nothing to gain from this divorce, or nothing to gain from putting his name through the...
I hope he pledges the 10 mil.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
I hope he does.
The main reason that he had lost that case was because the judge took a big thing in the fact that he was a drug addict and an alcoholic, and that he wouldn't know what he was doing when he was drunk or on drugs. And the second like main factor of him losing that case was that Amber Heard said that she had donated all the 7 million, that she didn't keep any of her divorce settlement, it was all donated, and he basically took that as gospel, as her word that she donated, but she actually just pledged. She uses them synonymously, apparently. They're not the same word. So he took that as she had nothing to gain from this. Why would she lie? She didn't take any money.
And she said it on TV too.
Yeah. She's like, yeah, I pledged to donate all this. And Camila Vasquez is like, I don't use them synonymously, misheard. They're two different words. She's like, oh, I use pledge and donate synonymously. You pledge a donation. Yeah, you pledge it. That does not mean you've paid it all in full, especially when your boyfriends have paid most of it.
Yeah,
like,
Elon
Musk has paid a couple of minutes off, but yeah.
But I'm so happy for him. Like he said, like the minute this came about, he'd already lost. Like, because if anyone Googles him, this court case is gonna be Googled. And he done it for his kids, because his kids were getting a lot of bad slack over it. Like, so yeah, if you know your innocence, like you do what you need to do, especially if you have kids involved. Like, so I'm so happy for him. It was a long 6 weeks, but now I'm like, what do I do? Yeah, what do I watch? Like what do I do now? Emily Baker, any suggestions? But I love her. She was the best thing to come out of this. She was amazing. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed watching her. She was great. She was very good, and she's good at explaining stuff and answering people's questions. And she was very, like, would you say unbiased? Not biased. Like, you knew she wasn't believing the stuff Amber said, but she went into it without much knowledge of either of them, and either, like, the case in the UK, and was very much, I'm watching this, what I believe in this is what I believe in this. And she didn't, I know she said she saw some stuff online, but she didn't go into a lot of stuff that the jury didn't see. Like, there was some audios that she had obviously heard and stuff. Yeah. So she was very she was very unbiased compared to some other people that I seen that were, like, very against Amber or very pro Depp. Like, you could tell she was kind of pro Depp in it, that she just didn't believe what Amber was saying, but she came to that conclusion just from this trial. And cute, see you. We love you. We love you. We love you. But we rambled on about that for a very long time. Yeah, we actually did. Just a quick little snippet of like a bit about this case. 35 minutes. We haven't talked about it at all. I know. Like, for see, that's why we haven't been recording, because we're in depth in the fucking Johnny Depp case. But yeah, do you want to tell them about your trip home? Do we talk about it? No. Or we spent like about 20 minutes before this episode talking about you being at home eating a Korean shipper. Oh, I wish. Oh god. Oh my god. I went home for a week, and it was the quickest week ever. I flew home first class, which was amazing. If anyone ever has the opportunity to fly home first class, do it. If it's just once in your life, do it. It is literally and then I flew home economy, and I was like and I was like, down the mighty have fallen. I was just like, to all the people like fucking going into first class, like, it's just a different experience. I was so jealous. Like it's so absolutely jealous. Like, it was like the cherry on top of like flying home. Like, flying in general is like a pain in the arse. But like, I slept so like me chair turned into a bed. Like, I had my own cubicle, like 3-course meal, real glasses, like real cutlery, like anything and everything you wanted. Like, you are basically waited on hand and foot, and it was absolute. And I literally was sitting there the whole time being like, I don't belong back there. I don't belong back in economy. See that curtain? I don't belong back that other side of that curtain. Like, I don't like this is my, I'm supposed to live this life forever. This is the life for me. And then 7 days later, I'm back in economy, rubbing elbows at people, squashed, bet up to the fucking window, like, knees cramped, legs dead. Did you ever contemplate getting the first class for going home? I did, but I kind of was like, like getting it
Like when you were in Ireland, were you thinking about
oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I was like, oh, will I get it? And then I was like, no, just forget about it. Just leave it. I was a broke ass bitch by then.
Yeah.
So I was like, no. I was like, next time. I was like, oh, well, I'll happily travel home alone. Won't tell anyone I'm in first class.
Yeah.
No, but if you're going to do it. Like, I think everyone has to experience first class at least once in their life. Actually, maybe don't. Like, because you're just literally going to be a depressed bitch every time you have to get on the plane and you turn right instead of left. Like, honestly, like, I wanted to cry when she was like, yeah, this way. I was like,
row 47 in the middle, right beside toilet. Like.
I felt literally like doing, like, you know, the bits and bridesmaids. She's like, please, I'm poor. She's up in first class. Please, I'm poor.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just, I wish I could just do a full episode on, like, just first class. But I don't have that amount of time. Maybe a filler episode that we need to do, but. I do have some clips though, so if you actually want to see clips, I will be posting a TikTok of some clips from first class over on our TikTok, so do go over and check it out. Like, I mean, like, they put a tablecloth down, 3-course meal, like, you eat so much that I felt like I was only on the plane for literally 2 hours, and I was actually an extra hour and a half sitting on the plane.
Tell them when you woke up in the middle of your slumber and asked for
a slumber. So basically they give you like a pillow, a sheet and a big duvet, and I feel so sad right now.
I feel so sad that I have a big double bed in there, like actual bed to go sleep into.
I know, but it's just not in first class. They give you all that, like, when you go in and sit, and they give you like an essentials little kit. I don't actually know if I told you just I actually left it in Ireland, but they give you, it's like socks, earbuds, a night mask, toothbrush, toothpaste, mouthwash, like all like in this little like vanity bag that's like sitting on the side and stuff, and you'll see all of it in the clips. I think I go through a good bit in the clips on TikTok that I will post at some point. And then obviously they turned all the lights down because it was a night flight. So you turn all the lights down. Kind of everyone around me is asleep. Like, it's so quiet. It was so nice. Yeah, they give you these big noise cancelling headphones as well, like the proper ones that go over your head. Like, you have like your screen's about this size. Like, it's literally like you're in your own little bedroom. So you put everything's like the screen is like touch screen beside you, so you can call the air hostess, and all by the screen you can change the softness and the firmness of the mattress that you're sitting on. There's massagers built into the chair, so you can turn them on the head or the back or like the leg part, and then you can turn your bed fully flat. So as much as you want, because it's not just like you press the button and it goes fully down. Like, you can actually adjust how much you want the back. Like, if you want the head up a bit more than the legs, like, you can adjust as much as you want. But I was fully flat. I was like, I'm gonna try catch some Z's while I'm like, but then I was like, do I want to sleep? Like, I'm in first class.
Like, or do I want to experience
I want to sleep, but I was so tired because I was in work as well that morning. So I was up at like 7, and then it was like, by the time we actually took off was 10:30. We were sitting an hour and a half extra on the plane. That's a story for a minute. But I ended up going to sleep, and then I woke up, and I think it was about an hour and a half later, and I was like, oh, I have to go to the toilet. So I went to go to the toilet, and I sat back down. And first class toilets have a window in them, just letting you know, and they're a lot bigger, and they had the molten brown, like, fancy fucking hand wash and stuff. I was like, no, they're not like marble walls or anything, but it has a window, and it's a little bit bigger. Like, I could do this.
You turn right around.
Yeah, like you're not like fucking cramped up on the toilet like this, but like there's a bit of leg room, like. And then I went back, sat down. I was like, oh my god, my mouth's like Andy Sandel. I need some water, and I'd never pressed the attendant button before in my life. So I pressed it, and I was like sitting there waiting. I was like, what do? I don't want to put the headphones on. I had them off, and I had them on. I was like, no way. So I'm sitting there with like my duvet wrapped up around me, and she was like, I can't actually fully remember. She was like, oh, hello, how can I help you? Because she was whispering because everyone's asleep. And I was like, can I just get water? She's like, oh yeah. I just said water, like Toronto, water. Can I just get some water? She's like, oh yeah, do you want it room temperature or would you like it chilled? And I was like, in my body, I was like, chilled please. And I thought she was going to bring out like a little plastic cup, even though I was drinking out of glasses, like proper glass, with my wine and my 7-Up. Which brought me a big chilled bottle. I was like, thank you. Oh, it was like,
yeah, asked for that in economy, like, we've none left.
We ran out
Drink
of water.
the tap in the bathroom.
If they're sweating, your socks are squeezing.
Yeah. No, actually, always lovely.
It was amazing. And then they come down like before, like they turn the lights down. They ask everyone like individually, would you like to be woken for breakfast? Would you like to be woken for breakfast? Would you like to be woken for breakfast? And I was like, yes, please. And they come down and the lights kind of gradually go up, like after like about 10 minutes, like when you're eating your breakfast, they're still a bit low, and then it's like supposed to like gradually wake people up that aren't awake. But I was awake like a fuck. I was ready after an hour and a half. I was like, get in, mate. I was like, yes, we are ready. I was nearly touchdown. I think it was like an hour 20 till touchdown. They're giving out breakfast. I was like, this is how I should be catered on every fucking morning, not just one morning out of the year. So they come around, they pull out your little side table, and the great thing is during this whole time you can sit with your legs up. You can be adjusting because your tray table comes out as far as you want it.
Oh my god!
I could have been sitting there with me bowl on me chest if I wanted to, popping some grapes. You come around, you put the fresh tablecloth down, then they give you your tray, and it's like a big bowl of fresh cut fruit, big bowl of muesli, croissant. Oh my god! They asked you, would you like tea or coffee? I was like, coffee, and I'm glad I went with coffee because wait till the next fucking set of the story I have for you. SMR. But yeah, it was lovely. I have never had muesli before in my life, and I ate like 2 spoonfuls just to be nice and polite, and I was like, this tastes like fucking old people vomit. But I ate all the fruit, the majority of the fresh cut fruit, which was like strawberries, blueberries, watermelon, pineapple. And I was sitting there and I was like, like literally when you're in first class, the one thing you will think is, I'm built for this life. Like, I'm built for this life. But then again, who isn't? Who wants to be sitting beside a stranger basically fighting over the elbow, that fucking armrest?
Touching elbows.
First class is just, it's just a different, it's just the best. I just want to do it again. Can I just go on the plane to do first class and fly back? But anyway, just to recap, we were an hour and a half extra waiting on the plane to take off. And this was due to a man not wanting to wear his mask. Which the funny thing is, in Toronto, you have to wear your mask in the whole airport. So this man decided to just wear his mask in the whole airport and then just not wear his mask on the plane. And there was a big hullabaloo, but we didn't see it up in first class.
We weren't part of that.
It was down back with the peasants down the back.
But
the pilot had let us know, like, there's a man on the plane not cooperating with the mandate.
Do you know what the thing is, right?
I don't know why.
If he had the common sense to wear the whole way through the airport, now that's if he did, he probably wasn't and just wasn't sane. But if he did wear it and was smart enough, I'll wear it and take off the plane. Why not wait till you're in the air and then take off? What are they gonna do then?
I know. Well, you'd be arrested when you land.
Well, yeah. But if you're gonna put up, at least get on the way to your destination.
Here, listen, when I was on the way back, there was 2 old men beside me and I was in at the window, and the man in the middle, like, after a while he was like, I'm fucking done with this mask, and just had it around his chin. No one cares anymore. Like, him having a mask on, he has to take his mask down to eat, to drink.
Yeah.
Like, in that sense, yeah. But then again, I was kind of like, man, just put your fucking mask on, we want to fucking go. But in order for us to go, they have to take his baggage off. That's like mandatory. Like, that is no comprendo.
Getting kicked off the plane.
If you are getting kicked off a plane, your baggage has to come with you as a safety, because if there's a bomb on it and it's a decoy that he knew he was never gonna get off, like, never gonna go on the flight. So Niamh lands. Niamh gets to the conveyor belt where our baggage. She's the first one there, but she's also the fucking last one standing there because someone's baggage got left in Toronto when they took all the baggage off to find the fucking prick's bag off. So I was an extra 4 hours in the airport
after a lovely experience.
Yeah.
The person above said, you need to be humble.
Yeah. Humble down, bitch. Dublin God. Airport with baggage that just doesn't turn up is an absolute disgrace. So when you're in desperate situations and you're on your own and you don't know what to do, you make friends, and you make friends fucking fast. Like, I'm telling you now, you make friends fast. So I seen a group of people that were kind of hovering, like walking up, kind of waiting for their bags as well. And I noticed a fella, and he was in a red jacket and a Ferrari backpack, and he was kind of an older man, like a middle-aged man. And I was like, he is my, if I don't get my bag, because I started picturing like I can't see my bag coming out of this, he is my point of contact, because he is waiting as well, because he was hovering.
Right.
So I was like, he's in point of contact. And then he disappeared for a while. I was like, okay, I'm literally the last one standing at this conveyor belt with one yellow suitcase going around and around and around. I was like, right, my bag's not here. Like, my bag is not here. So I seen a group of people talking and I went up. I was like, hey, they all had forms. I was like, hey, you lose your baggage? My baggage not here. They were like, yeah. Air Canada shit the bed. Air baggage is more than likely in Toronto, or they just fucking lost it. You have to go up and get a form. I turn around. You want to see the little queue to get this form with one man on the desk for all the flights. Like, for all flights that have lost baggage. One man on the desk. You have to queue in this queue to get a form, to get back out of the queue, to fill in the form, to get back in the queue, to hand him the form for him to go through the form with you. And that concludes why I was an extra 4 hours in the airport. And I didn't get me baggage for 2 days.
These are funny raps. But what I don't get is, right, the people that had to take the bags off to get your man's bag, did they just forget to put them back on? Like, how does that happen?
I think it's more of a time thing. Once they're off, they're off.
What?
Yeah. Me dad was
just fuck them back on.
Yeah, and plus, you know what pisses me off more? Because I was in first class, so I was in business. So I got priority check-in. When you do that, they put, with Air Canada anyway, because I've never been anything but economy, and they put like a big, you know the way they put the label on your suitcase when you're checking in?
Yeah.
They put like this big orange sticker that comes print out with, and it's a big, huge orange arrow that says priority. Now imagine a businessman.
Yeah.
Imagine a businessman if his baggage wasn't there. And he's paying all this money for business class, and then his baggage just doesn't fucking show up. I was talking to actually one of the fellas in the queue, and he was like, he was a Canadian. He was like, I'm at a wedding tomorrow. I'm in Belfast. I have to travel up to Belfast from here. He was like, I'm not getting my baggage. Like, there's no way I'm getting me baggage. And more than likely, if he's in Belfast, like, people who were staying in Dublin probably got their baggage like next day, next afternoon. I was lucky because I was staying in Dublin. He wasn't. He was going to bed, and he was a wedding. He was like, oh, so I have no clothes. He was like, I have nothing. And I didn't bring a cabin bag. I just brought a big check-in bag.
Oh my god.
So, and then Aaron was on the phone with Aaron. He was like, technically you could blame your ma because she told you not to bring a cabin bag and just bring a big bag.
Her fault.
I hadn't like nothing, so I was scrambling, but thank God I was staying at home. So I had 2 sisters and I still had stuff at home to like tie me over. But still. I won't get into any more of my stories from being at home right now. Yeah, so we're back and we had to stop because actually
technical difficulties.
Amy just copped that the thing was no longer recording. So thank God I wasn't going. I think there's about a minute.
Yeah,
with no video and me just rambling, but that's what basically all the technology is basically saying here, wrap up, bitch.
Yeah.
And keep your stories for another day. So if you have any questions about first class and how I got it and what I did about it, let us know. You can reach out on our comments on our YouTube below, or you can reach out on our Instagram or TikTok. We're actually really like TikToking it up.
We're TikTokers now.
But so don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, follow us on TikTok, subscribe to our YouTube, and follow us on Instagram.
Yeah.
And if you're watching us on YouTube, put the belly thing on. And yeah, that's everything.
Oh,
and if you're listening on iTunes, give us a 5-star rating.
Spotify, leave a rating, follow.
I don't think can you leave reviews on Spotify?
You can leave. I know you can leave reviews on Apple Podcasts, and then you can follow the like podcast page on Spotify.
Oh,
so well, I don't know if you can leave reviews on Spotify. I don't think so.
Trent has risen.
But yeah, we'll see you next week.
See you next week. Hopefully.
Don't start jinxing it.
Bye.
Bye.